Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to set some round diamonds on the sides. I got my son Noah here. He's always asking me a lot of questions. I figure why not put a video up. So I'm going to set this one in a 3-stone setting. Okay, so the lady has the stone. She's going to bring it in later for me. But this is something we casted here. She has about 1/4 carat on each side. So the problem is you don't have to use the exact size burr, which is these are hard burrs. A lot of times I use the diamond burrs too. And a lot of times what I do is I take just a small burr and I do it. This is the diamond burr. Okay, some people like to use these. And I would just use one, but you have to have a lot of practice and you got to know exactly what you're doing. So you could actually, if you don't measure the height, you're not going to get it perfectly in there. You're not going to get them all the same height. But I've been setting stones for over 40 years, so I don't need to measure and I don't need to know, I don't need the exact burr. So I could use a 1-point burr and still groove the prongs and get it straight. So, but here's what happens. If you measure one, it's a little bit smaller or bigger. You cannot plunge down. You cannot go down. You can see this burr does not fit in there. Okay, so what I do is I go on an angle. You can go from the front to the back like this, or you could go from the back to the front like this. But don't just go in there, then turn the motor on. So don't go in here and just and turn it like this. See how it gets jammed in there? So what you do is as you run it a little bit very gently and you go down here like this and you turn. As you turn, now you look at it from the side profile, you can see it. So make sure this is straight. Then you turn this way, make sure this is straight. And you turn this way and you see how I support it with my fingers and my middle finger. Sorry about that. So I go here like this, I plunge it now. But when you go to, let's say I go in like this, you see it's hard for the burr, it's got stuck inside like this. So that's why it's important. So when you set the stone back in, it's gonna go the same way like you drop the burr. So but now when the burr drops in, you wanna go up this way. So you go upward. Okay? Some people like to go up and down. So I go like this. So I could have a little bit for the pavilion of the diamond. I plunge it just a hair. Depends on the thickness. Sometimes you might have to eat a little bit more. Some people use a ball burr. I don't recommend it. You're not going to be able, if you don't have a real good control of your motor or whatever, your pedal, you're not going to be able to get that. It's going to fly everywhere on you, okay? So make sure this goes, when it goes in like this, you plunge it just a hair down. Depends on the thickness of the stone. And as I turn, I look at it and I turn and pivot like this. See, I turn as I spin it like this. So when I drop my stone in, a lot of times, even like this stone, so let's say this stone is huge, look at it. So even though I went on the side, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to open it up just a hair. Now you could use an actual pliers. You could use your beading tool. So whichever is easier for you. So you could go one this way, just out just a hair, out this way, and go just opposite directions. Or you could stick your pair of pliers inside like this and go out this way. Make sure they're all even. And then when you drop your stone in, I go on an angle like this. A lot of times, believe it or not, I push that baby in. I don't care. I'm not, I said sometimes I'm very rough with my stones, but I know it's going to go in there nicely, okay? You can hear it click, but I don't recommend you do this, you know, you could. So I push it into the size and I go from each corner here. And some people ask, how do you hold the burr? I'm sorry, the beading tool. If you don't have a pusher, I place it inside here and I push with my 2 fingers. I place my thumb here and this goes inside of my palm so I could have some leverage here. So when I push it in this way, I turn, I do the opposite. I push it over the stone. I make sure it's nice and straight. I push over and opposite. Okay, so you look at it, then you cup it and you're pretty done with it. You can see it goes on both sides. Okay, a lot of times I would go, if the stone is not tightening, I would go underneath here, but be careful when you go under here and tighten it this way. But be careful, you know, if it's too thin here, you will break that gallery right here. So I don't recommend that theory. Make sure you go underneath the thick area, but try to push it first. So I always place it against my bench block here and I push over, and I always do the opposite from here, turn, and I do the opposite side. Then you do the other side. Okay, you have any questions, please ask. I know there's a lot of great setters out there. I'm sure they'll give some great recommendation and great comments. Thanks for watching.